Danielle. I've got Mochi here in the background with me, and we are so glad to see you here today. We're going to be doing a quicker, kind of well rounded flow today, a little bit more focus and awareness on our shoulders. So, we're trying to build that muscle memory, that strength in our shoulders to get us nice, strong down dogs, strong planks, strong chaturangas. So, get ready to move and breathe and flow a bit, and I will meet you on our mats in child's pose.
All right, so coming into our child's position, maybe your knees are together to support the low back. Maybe your knees are a little bit wider to get into the hips, but either option, we're just taking a few moments here at the beginning to bring that attention, that intention inwards. So taking some deep breaths, breathing into the back line, feeling your head, your shoulders growing heavy, and just grounding in, preparing for the movements to come. So if you're ready to begin some movements on your next inhale, walking your hands over to the right, sinking your hips back to the back left corner, breathing into the whole left side, trying to maybe wiggle walk those fingers forward, feel a big stretch on the whole left side of the body. Then, as you're ready, walking your hands back through center, reset the spine. Then, walking your hands over to the left and sinking your hips back to the right. So, it's the same shape, just a different side, but we're opening up that whole right side of the body, breathing into that right shoulder, maybe wiggling those fingers a little bit more forward. Then, as we're ready, walking your hands back through center, resetting that spine, and then gently starting to press yourself up into tabletop. So your wrists are under shoulders, knees under hips, toes are tucked or untucked. And on your inhale, dropping the belly, leading with the heart. And exhale, rounding back for cat. Then inhale, moving into cow, stretching the front line. Exhale, rounding back, stretching the back line. So moving with your breath for a few rounds of just traditional cat cow here. Nothing too fancy, but maybe closing your eyes and really noticing each movement, feeling that sensation as we're moving with the breath. All right, and then coming back into neutral on your inhale, right arm stretches up, stretching north to south. And on the exhale, we're bringing that right arm behind the left wrist, back of the hand pressing down into the earth. Maybe the left hand stays where it is. Maybe it comes to your hips, making sure your hips are square, or maybe going all the way to that right hip crease. But whatever you're doing with the left, the awareness is in that right arm. It is pressing into the earth to open your shoulders up to the left side of your mat. And as you're ready, left hand plants back down. On your inhale, right arm unwraps, unwinds, stretches north to south, and then right hand grounds down. Resetting the body. On your next inhale, left arm stretches up, and on the exhale, twisting, bringing it behind the right wrist, back of the hand pressing into the mat, left shoulder, left forehead resting down. Maybe the right hand stays there. Maybe again it goes to our hips or goes to our left hip crease. If we have that bind with the hip crease, maybe we're pulling on that hip, getting that right shoulder a little bit more open and breathing space into our shoulders, into our upper spine. All right, and as you're ready, that right arm grounds back down. On that inhale, left arm unwraps, unwinds, stretches for a moment. Then that left hand grounds back down. So walking our hands forward a handprint or two, maybe shifting our knees back, we're gently going to start to press into the hands and lower the upper body down, coming into puppy pose. So the goal here is to get that heart shoulder opener, but keeping our hips over our knees. Our fingers, our palms are pressing into the earth, really feeling that activation in the arms. Then gently starting to press ourselves up, keeping the arms where they are, sinking the hips forward into sphinx pose. So ideally our arms kind of stay where they are, but we might need to adjust them a little bit. Elbows are under our shoulders and our hands are still pressing into the earth, trying to pull the heart, the chest through the arms. Maybe the gaze is lifted. And then gently starting to lower down, bringing the hands under our shoulders. Pressing ourselves up through tabletop, then tucking the toes, lifting the hips into our first downward facing dog. So it's the first one of the class, maybe of the day. So take a few moments here to really feel it out. Pedaling into one leg and the other, walking our dog. Maybe bending both knees and kind of bringing the chest back. Just kind of feeling it out and reorienting yourself in space with your head now below the heart. Then, as you start to feel it out, a couple of moments in stillness, really connecting with this shape, really pressing into the knuckles, into the palms, trying to find length in the spine. And then pressing into the hands, gently start to tippy toe forward as slowly as we can, coming into a forward fold at the top of our mats. So maybe our hands stay on the earth, or maybe we grab opposite elbows, finding whatever arm variation feels good, and just spending a few moments just hanging in this inversion. Maybe bending into one knee and the other, swaying side to side. Maybe tucking the chin a little bit, letting the head grow heavy and really lengthening that spine. And then releasing any arm grip that you have. Slowly start to unroll, unwrap vertebrae by vertebrae. Arms up overhead and then arms down by your side. Coming into Tadasana at the top of our mats. Just reconnecting with our breath for a moment. Then on your inhale, arms up, interlock grip. And on your exhale, hips to the right, arms up and over to the left. Then coming back through center. And exhale, hips to the right, arms up and over to the left. Inhale back through center. Exhale, cactus, the arms lifting the heart. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, we fold. And inhale, halfway lift, a strong back lifts you up. And exhale, fold, plant the hands, step back, top of a push up. The knees, chest, then chin, lower down. Inhale, pull the heart through for little baby cobra. Exhale, lower down, tuck the toes. Push yourself back through child's pose and lift the hips for downward facing dog. Spending a few moments here, just reconnecting with that breath, finding that space, that grace. Then bend the knees, look to the top, and gently step forward to our fold. Inhale, halfway lift, palms slide up the shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round it up, roll it up, vertebrae by vertebrae, arms up overhead. Exhale, arms down by your side. Inhale, arms up, palms together, and exhale, windmilling open to the right. Exhale, arms back up through center. Exhale, windmilling open to the left. Inhale, arms back through center. Exhale, cactus, the arms lifting the hearts. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step back, top of a push up. The knees raised or lowered, lower all the way down. Inhale, pull the heart through for cobra, baby or bigger. Exhale, lower down, tuck the toes, push yourself up through tabletop, and lift the hips for downward facing dog. Coming back to our breath, slowing it down, finding that intentional movement. And as we're ready, bend the knees, step, hop, or jump to the front. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round it up, roll it up, arms up overhead. Exhale, arms down by your side. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, sit down, sit low, coming into chair pose. Maybe our arms reach up. And on the exhale, flip the palms, drive the arms back. And on the inhale is reaching back up, maybe lifting the heels. And the exhale, driving the arms back. So a few rounds here, going from our skier squat to our drinking bird. Maybe lifting the heels, maybe keeping their roots grounded. Just moving with our breath. And then once you're ready, folding in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, left foot steps back, dropping the knee, untucking the toes. And on the inhales, hands come to knee, thigh, or sky. Couple of rounds here, maybe drawing the elbows down into our cactus pose. Inhale, lowering down. And inhale, reaching up. Exhale, sinking the hips lower. Inhale, reaching a little bit higher. Exhale, sinking in. Inhale, moving with intention, and then driving down through the right heel to sink the hips back for our half splits. So a couple of rounds here in stillness, or maybe finding some more movements, maybe walking the hands forward to frame the right leg, and maybe opening that right arm up to the side, going into a little bit of a twist. For one more moment, sinking that hip back, and then windmilling that right hand down to the inside of the right foot, We're going into our side plank, so maybe keeping the left knee down, maybe keeping them stacked, going into our side plank on the left side, and then as we're ready, transitioning into our dolphin side plank on the right arm. Maybe the knees are grounded, maybe not. Then dolphin side plank on the left side. Then regular side plank on the right side, stretching, reaching up, and then coming into regular plank and flowing our way into downward facing dog. Moving with our breath and knowing that rest is always an option if we need it. Coming back to our breath and lifting on the inhale that left leg, then that left leg steps forward, dropping the right knee, untucking the toes in our inhale, hands to knee, thigh, or sky. And on our exhale, sinking the elbows down, cactus in the arms. Inhales, lifting up. Exhale, sinking the hip deeper. Inhales, reaching higher. Exhale, drawing the shoulder blades down the back. Inhales, reaching higher. Really feeling every movement and then driving down through the left heel to sink the hips back, coming into our half splits on the other side. So maybe we're staying here with our hands closer to our bent knee. Maybe we're walking our hands forward to frame the left foot. Maybe staying there or windmilling that left arm open, going into a little twist, sinking that left hip back to really feel that length. Then windmilling the hand to the inside of that left leg, going into our side plank on the right side, knees lifted or not. Then going into dolphin plank on the left side, knees lifted or not. Dolphin plank on the right side, lifting that left arm. Then regular side plank on the left side. Then grounding both hands down for plank and flowing our way to downward dog, however we choose. Knowing that child's pose, resting is always an option, or going straight to downward dog and finding more stillness. Both are beautiful, valid choices. As we're ready, bend the knees, look to the top and hop, step, or jump. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhales, coming into chair pose for a moment. And then inhale, standing up, hands to heart center. Coming back to our breath. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, sitting down into chair pose. Staying with regular, or maybe finding that movement again. Reaching up and then driving the palms back. And then inhales, flipping the palms, lifting the heels. Exhales, driving the hips lower. Inhales, lifting. Exhales, sinking the hips back. Inhales, lifting the chest, bending up. Exhale, sinking lower. Maybe closing your eyes as we're moving through this to really ground through your roots. Sinking the hips down one more time, lifting the hips one more time, and then exhales, folding in. Inhale, halfway lift, a strong back lifts you up. Exhale, plant the hands, right foot steps back, keeping that knee lifted this time on our inhale, hands to knee, thigh, or sky for crescent high lunge. So feeling it out for a few moments, staying with this, and then maybe drawing the elbows in, and then on your inhales, opening up to the left side, and exhales, closing it in. So inhales, opening up like a book, exhale, drawing the elbows in. Kind of getting into that left shoulder, moving with our breath. And maybe staying with those movements or finding some more static stillness, stretching east to west, or maybe that left hand finds the left thigh, right arm reaches up, maybe over, getting a deeper twist on that right hip flexor. And then coming back up through center, keeping the arms as they are, grounding the right hand down, and coming into side plank on the right side. Exhale, coming into dolphin side plank on the left. Then coming into dolphin side plank on the right, coming into regular side plank on the left, then coming into our regular plank and flowing our way into downward facing dog. Finding whatever movement is calling to you, or maybe giving yourself some well earned rest. All right, on your next inhale, right leg lifts, and on the exhale, stepping it through the hands, coming into our crescent high lunge as we're ready. Staying with the stillness or maybe drawing the elbows in, and on the inhale, opening up to the right, and exhale, closing it in. Every inhale, windmilling open, exhale, closing it in. Like the pages of a book, opening and closing, twisting to the right side, moving with our breath. Maybe staying with this, or maybe stretching those arms out, going into deeper twists, east to west. Maybe the right arm finds that left thigh. Maybe the left arm reaches up, maybe over, going into a deeper twist on that left hip flexor. And then keeping the arms as they are. Left hand grounds down, right arm reaches up, making our way into side plank. And then transitioning into our dolphin side plank on the right arm. Then dolphin side plank on the left arm. Regular side plank on the right arm. And then grounding down into regular plank and flowing to downward facing dog. And each time we're flowing through down dog, we're finding that meditation, that sacred movement, tuning into the breath through inhale and exhale, and then finding stillness. On that next inhale, our right leg lifts, and on the exhale, knee comes to right elbow. Inhale, it lifts, and exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale, we lift, and exhale, knee to nose, rounding it in before we step between the hands. And on the inhale, rise to our crescent high lunge. So feeling it out for a moment, and as we're ready, setting up for eagle arms, the left coming over the right, maybe grabbing onto shoulders, maybe finding that hands, that prayer bind. And then as we're ready, launching off the right foot, coming into our one-legged Tadasana on the right leg, maybe staying with that or maybe wrapping that left around the right, getting into our full eagle. So staying here or maybe starting to draw the knees into the elbows, doing a little crunch, and then inhale, straightening up, and then exhale, crunching in, really grounding down, and inhale, straightening up. And if we lose that wrap, that balance, it's okay. Exhale, crunching in, and inhale, sitting up. Starting to unwrap that left leg, maybe staying up into Tadasana or maybe driving that left leg back, driving the heel back for a warrior three variation. Maybe keeping the arms where they are or releasing them down, starting to lift that left leg for a bit of a standing splits. Really breathing into our back line and then gently starting to bend that right knee, dropping the left leg back for our crescent for just a moment. Then straightening that right leg, maybe walking the back leg in a little bit and releasing it forward into a pyramid pose. Really breathing along the whole back of that leg there, finding length and space. And then maybe adjusting that left foot for a moment, planting the hands down. On our inhale, we're going to lift that right leg behind us, maybe keeping the leg lifted as we flow our way to downward dog. Keeping the right leg lifted or grounding it down, whatever feels more stable today. Then finding a moment of stillness. And then on our next inhale, that left leg lifts. And on the exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, knee comes through to nose, rounding through the shoulders as we step it between the hands. Inhale, hands rise to crescent high lunge, feeling it out for a moment, and then starting to bring those eagle arms with the right underneath the left, maybe grabbing shoulders, maybe finding that clasp. And as we're ready, launching off of the left leg, coming into that standing Tadasana with that right leg flexed in front of us, and maybe finding that eagle wrap with the legs on this side. Staying here, working on stability, or maybe starting to move with those eagle crunches. So using that strong core, strong breath to round in, and then inhale, lengthening, finding a little bit more space along the back line. Then rounding in again, trying to bring those elbows as close as we can to the knees. And then as we're ready, starting to unwrap the legs, keeping the arms as long as we can, driving the right leg behind us, foot flex to keep the hips squared, or maybe pointing the toe back. Then unwrapping the arms as we feel ready, making our way until that standing split on the other side. And maybe just noticing the difference from side to side. And as we're ready, starting to bend into the left leg, dropping that right leg down, coming into crescent for just a moment, then straightening that left leg, maybe walking the right foot in a little, and then lowering that upper body down into pyramid pose on that left side. So trying to find length in that left leg, but maybe bending the knee just a little bit gives you a bit more space, and then folding that upper body down. Hands are framing the foot. Maybe we're pulling the upper body lower. And then adjusting those hands to frame the foot, grounding that right foot down on your inhale, lifting that left leg up into three-legged dog, and then flowing our way to downward dog, keeping that leg raised or lowered. whatever feels right for you today. And then as we come into downward dog, a few moments of stillness, preparing ourselves for our last little push. So getting ready for our last little core push, doing toe taps to either side, 5 on each, and then making our way to dolphin. So coming forward into plank, right foot gets ready to tap, 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 tap. Then other side, left foot, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming into plank, then sinking the hips back for down dog. Really grounding down through the hands, getting ready to lower onto our forearms for dolphin pose. So really trying to keep those arms, those shoulders active, and really trying to soften the spine, drawing the chest back, and pressing ourselves up into down dog and shifting forward again. So right side for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Left for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Coming into down dog for a moment, then setting up those hands, pressing into the earth to lower the forearms down for dolphin. Maybe seeing if we can draw the heels back a little bit more. Maybe bending the knees a little bit gives you the space to really lengthen in the shoulders, the upper spine. Pressing ourselves up through down dog. One more round, shifting into plank. Then right, 2, 3, 4, 5. And left, 2, 3, 4, 5. Coming into down dog and lowering down onto the forearms for dolphin. And each round, seeing if we can soften a little bit more, get a little bit more space in the shoulders, then bending the knees, starting to lower ourselves down, coming into child's pose. So you can leave your arms in front of you if you need them there, or maybe walk them to the sides and gives you the space to really round the shoulders a little bit more and give them that much needed rest. Breathing into our back line, can we grow a little heavy and then gently start to roll ourselves up to seated? Then we're going to come into a kneeling position and bring our arms up in front of us. Cactus, the arms lifting up and then drawing the elbows in. Inhale, windmilling open, and exhale, drawing it in. Inhaling, lift the heart. Exhale, leaning back a little. Inhale one more time. Exhale, round back. Let's do one more. Can we lift? Exhale, lean, and then coming to kneeling on our seat. Swinging our legs out in front of us. We're going to set up for some wide leg stretching. So drawing our feet out to either side, keeping the feet flexed, bringing our legs as wide out as we can. On our inhale, lift the arms, and then exhale, start to hinge forward, stopping when you feel that tension in the legs. And maybe staying here, keeping the length in the spine, maybe starting to lower down on your forearms, maybe start to tuck the chin, and then find some softness and space. Trying to keep the legs active. Those feet are flexed. They're gently pointing back, really feeling that activation on those inner leg lines and softening in, growing heavy in the upper body. So gently starting to walk ourselves back up, coming into some separate leg side stretches. So taking that left arm inside of the left thigh. Maybe we stay there. Maybe we reach that right arm up. Maybe it's reaching straight up, or maybe we can start to reach over the ear. Maybe if you're super flexible, you can reach that right arm so far it makes contact with the left foot. But if you don't have it, that's okay. Go to where you need. Maybe readjust with that left arm. Maybe you can wiggle it a little bit more in. Maybe you need to stay up, just finding what you need, and then inhale, coming back up through center. So resetting the spine, growing long, then taking that right arm to the inside of the right thigh. Maybe the elbow grounds down, maybe not. The left arm reaches up. Maybe it stretches straight north, or maybe it starts to reach over that left ear. Maybe it reaches so far over the left ear, it makes contact with the right foot. And maybe we can readjust. But if you have that contact with the foot, the hand is pulling on the foot is pressing into the hand, really finding some activation along both the arms and the legs. And we soften in. Then inhale, coming back through center, reset that spine, and then gently bring our hands under the thighs to bring the knees back together. All right, so taking that right leg, bending it, maybe bringing it to the outside of the left knee. The left leg can stay straight, or you can bend it in to bring that heel to your right sitting bones. Your right arm is behind you like a kickstand, and your left arm reaches up and stretches over to the outside of that right knee. Maybe your right hand stays behind you like a kickstand. Maybe it finds your hip crease. Maybe that left arm goes through to also find a hip crease. All beautiful options, but we are twisting, trying to wring out our spine like a rag, looking over the right shoulder if it feels okay. And then we release, unwrap, unwind, coming into the other side. So our legs are out and straight. Left leg bends, bringing it to the outside of the right knee. Your right leg can stay straight or bending it to bring it to your hips. Left hand is a kickstand, right arm reaches up and bringing it to the outside of the left knee. Maybe it grabs on to that right leg or your mat, or maybe you start to go for that bind on the other side. All beautiful options as long as you have space to go deeper into the twist. We want to feel sensation, not pain, so never pushing yourself so far that you stop and start to lose the breath. So we're twisting our spine, maybe looking over that left shoulder at the end. And then unwrapping, unwinding, coming back to neutral. So bringing our legs out in front of us for one final stretch. Inhale, arms up, and on the exhale, folding forward, trying to grab onto our toes. Maybe bending the knees if we feel a lot of tightness in the low spine. But if we are grabbing onto our shins, maybe our ankles, maybe we have the toes, we're using that to pull the upper body down as we press into our hands with the feet, really feeling that equal activation in both hands and feet. And then maybe softening in and surrendering at the end. All right, on your inhale, start to lift yourself up. Maybe adjust, shifting forward. We're going to make our way into our final Savasana using that core work, bringing our hands in front of us and slowly lowering all the way down. So setting up for whatever final Savasana shape you would like. Your legs can be extended to traditionally. Feet are flopped open, arms by your side to receive. I like to bend my knees, bring my feet mats width, knees falling in. Just helps give me a little bit more support on my low spine. So either option, take what you need, and few moments here in some well-deserved rest. All right, so if you are ready to be guided out of it, you can gently start to invite some movements, maybe wiggling your fingers, your toes, keeping those eyes closed as long as possible to keep that stimulation to a minimum. And then maybe inviting some larger movements, some wrist circles, some ankle circles. Maybe extending the arms and legs out overhead, giving a big good morning hug, good morning stretch. And then rolling over to your favorite side. Pausing for a moment to let the spine come back to neutral. And then gently pressing your way up and coming to a comfortable seat. Maybe crisscrossed, maybe lotus, half lotus, or whatever is calling to you. Maybe your hands rest on your knees to support the chest.
or maybe your hands come to heart center. Maybe rubbing them together for a moment to feel that heat, that friction, that pranic energy we have been cultivating. And then pausing for one more moment in stillness and in gratitude for all of the work that you have done today on the mat. We all benefit off of the mat. I truly believe that. So I thank you so much for taking the time to take care of yourself. Because when you care for you, you care for all of us. You care for me as well. So I'm so grateful. And so until we meet back on our mats again, I bow to you and say, Om Shanti, peace. Peace within, peace around, and peace to those who need it most. If you found this at all helpful, I would love it if you could like, subscribe. Let's help get this content out in front of people who need it the most. Otherwise, keep doing the good work, bringing the peace that we have been cultivating inside into the poses of life. And I will see you again on our mat soon. Bye.